Hello, everyone. God's blessings. It is a great day in Southeast today, and I'm honored to have the opportunity to share this moment with you today. For those who do not know me, my name is Wanda Henderson of Henderson Enterprises. I am a native Washingtonian and a business owner for over 30 years. For 20 years, I have owned and operated Wanda's on 7th at 1851 7th Street Northwest for over 20 years. Thank you. A couple years ago, I had a vision to expand my business to teach skills and education to students in the barber beauty community that would lead them into a healthy career path to provide for themselves and their families. As I stand here today, I am thankful to Mayor Bowser for the acquisition fund and the Anacostia bid, as I am now the proud owner of 2408 Martin Luther King Avenue Southeast here in Anacostia. We will host our first barber beauty school, Henderson International Academy. Being an entrepreneur is a beautiful experience, but it has its challenges. Entrepreneurs need support and guidance, and the mayor and her staff continue to provide that here today with our new district safe commercial corridors hub. Mayor Bowser and the Anacostia bid has invested and supported tremendously into the fruition of my vision of Henderson International Academy and the vision of many other business owners in the city. This grand opening serves as an opportunity of resources and information for anyone with a dream and vision. Don't miss each chance to grow and live your vision. With that being said, as I stand here today in a moment of progression and gratitude, I am honored to introduce your mayor and mine, Mayor Muriel Bowser.
Everybody give Wanda on 7th and now on MLK a big round of applause. It is great to see you all here. I'm joined by members of my team who you will hear from today. And we're in Ward 8 to open our new Anacostia Safe Commercial Corridor Hub. This is the second in a series, and we opened our first hub. Many of you were there in Chinatown in February. The idea is very simple. These are places where residents can walk in to get help from DC agencies. And it is particularly aimed at improving public safety to make sure that people are getting the behavioral health services that they need, the community relations help that they need, and the human services support that they need. And so there will be a friendly DC government person there who can make sure that they are connected to the agency or office that can help them. We knew that when we opened in Chinatown that we would also focus on in Anacostia on this corridor. And if you start near the 11th Street Bridge, you will recognize many of the investments that we have made, including the beautiful new home of the Department of Housing and Community Development that connects people to resources, including inclusionary zoning and other home buyer programs. And if you keep on going up MLK, we have our existing DHS service center in the mayor's office on returning citizens. And right behind the big chair, we have our Department of Youth and Rehabilitative Services that is open to connect our young people to jobs and training. On the next block, you have the new headquarters of the Department of Health right here in Anacostia. where neighbors can also get to our vital records division. And around the corner, just some more heavy DC government investments, including the Department for Hire Vehicles, the Mayor's Office on African American Affairs, the Mayor's Office on Religious Affairs, and Serve DC right in Shannon Place. You know, the DC Lottery is there too. And right up from here, and that's why I know the chief is anxious to talk to you about it, because a couple of years back, we opened the Metropolitan Police Department Cadet Academy building, also right here on MLK. So now that we have the Anacostia Hub, this is going to be a focal point for community engagement. And I mentioned that we'll co-locate several of our offices. We're excited to have this resource in the community, and we learned some lessons from the Chinatown Hub. Because there we've seen a 15% drop in crime since we opened the hub, including a 78% drop in violent crime. We've also connected more than 200 people to DHS and to the Department of Behavioral Health through walk-ins. So I want to thank all of our teams at our first hub where we have learned, where we're perfecting our model and our approach. And we're delighted to bring those learnings here to our second location. I also want to make a couple of exciting personnel announcements because we have now selected and appointed my deputy director at the Mayor's Office of Community Relations to oversee the hubs, including the Anacostia Hub and the Chinatown Hub. And so join me in congratulating Talib Shakir in his new role. Talib has been an outstanding manager of these operations and services, and I'm just really pleased to acknowledge his service to the district. Talib will serve as the manager of the Safe Community Corridor Hub program, where he'll oversee the day-to-day operations of the hubs and coordinate with local businesses and community organizations to support their success. I also want to make an additional personnel announcement and let you know that we have kind of changed the organization in our Mocha's offices. Soon after I was reelected, I let the team know that I wanted to create ward manager positions across the city. And the job of the ward manager in the Mayor's Office of Community Relations is to really represent what the community is saying to DC agencies and interact in the process, whether it's being responsive to questions, to advocating with me about which investments go first, how we prioritize them, and how we respond to the community. And in my view, we have a prototypical person to be named in the inaugural position as ward manager. And she has been the voice of Ward 8 for a lot of years. Some of you know her as Wendy Glenn. She is the recent winner of the Women of Ward 8 Award. She's been recently honored as the Ward 8 Council on Health. Later this week, she will be a featured guest of the Congress Heights Senior Wellness Center. And today, I'm pleased to announce that she is the first ward manager for me, and she's the ward manager for Ward 8. Congratulations, Wendy Glenn. And with that, I am pleased to recognize some members of our team. We'll also hear from the Vice President of Customer Service at Washington Gas, who we're co-locating this hub with. and then we will be able to take a few questions. And I noticed lots of cookies across the street. So with that, please welcome the Chief of Police, Chief Pamela Smith.
I think it's still morning. Yeah, we're so close to 12. Good. Thank you so much, Mayor Bowser, and good morning, everyone. We're so excited to be here in vibrant Anacostia, the business corridor, to open our second safe commercial corridor hub, expanding on the first hub that we unveiled over in Chinatown back in February. And since we've announced the hubs over in Chinatown, we've heard from a lot of community members who have said very clearly they'd like to see the same type of representation of DC government agencies in that space. And I'm very proud. I want you to know that I'm very proud today that we are now opening those doors for the members of this community. Time and time again, we hear from residents and business owners, and you speak about your desires to have more Metropolitan Police Department officers in your community. And this is certainly an opportunity for us today to be able to enhance and embark upon those things that you have constantly shared with us over and over again. It is my hope that you have seen a lot more members of the Metropolitan Police Department presence in this area, but joining in this space today, you will find that we will be more ever present to serve the communities, the businesses, and the residents here in Anacostia. Also, this hub will offer several benefits for us. It'll give our officers more accessibility for police services through their police desk. It'll give the officers the opportunity to be readily accessible. And we will cut down on response time when things are happening in this area. But more importantly for me, we will have officers here on bike patrol. We'll have officers in this area on foot patrol. And we will be able to meet the demands that the community has been constantly asking us about over and over again. We will continue to build upon the reduction that we've seen here in Anacostia. I am proud today to say, and I always say that there's still more work for us to do, but in Ward 703, we have a 30% reduction in violent crime in this area. And by having this commercial corridor hub, it will give us the opportunity to strengthen the bonds that we have with other DC government agencies here in the District of Columbia. I also want to take just a few moments to just thank the community members. I mean, you all have been really exceptional. When we talk about a reduction in crime, the phone calls, the text messages, the 50411 tip, you all have been really remarkable in helping us to drive down crime here in this area, and we cannot thank you enough. I also want to thank the officers and the members of the Metropolitan Police Department who take their leadership and direction from me daily. And I know it is a grind every single day, but they do this work with passion, and they do serve this community with care. And I want you to know that I am ever present in this space with them. Every week we have community safety walks, and we invite each of you to please join us in our community safety walks. I again want to thank Mayor Bowser for this amazing opportunity to open up a second corridor here in Anacostia, and it is certainly our pleasure to serve you as best we can. I'll turn it back over to Mayor Bowser. Thank you.
So with that, I want to invite Dr. Barbara Basron, our Director of the Department of Behavioral Health.
Thank you, Mayor Bowser, for your leadership and your continued investment in behavioral health. That really helps us to make safe, quality health care available to our residents. I'm wearing green today in recognition of Mental Health Awareness Month. During the month of May and every month, I encourage you to mind your mental health. Mental health is health. Mental wellness is critical to support our daily functioning ability. Just as you go to the doctor to monitor your blood pressure and physical health, the same must be true of your mental health. Most people living with mental health disorders are managing their wellness with the right support from their providers, from their families, and from their friends. Our emotional health can range from thriving to struggling. No matter what you're experiencing, there are ways to take action to support yourself and those around you. Self-care means taking the time to do things that help you live well, those things that bring you joy. Self-care can help you manage stress, boost your mood, and lower your risk of illness. Self-care looks different for each of us. It may take trial and error to discover what works best for you. Incorporating even small acts of self-care in your daily life can have a big impact. I would like for you to remember the 4 M's of mental health. 1, movement. Exercise and take care of your physical health. 2, mastery. Do something that you do well, something that gives you a sense of accomplishment. 3, meaningful engagement. Stay connected to talk about what you are feeling. And 4, mindfulness, deep breathing, listening to music, meditation, and engaging in relaxing activities. In other words, find some joy. Within our community, the stigma regarding mental health can keep us from getting the health we need. Together, we can bust stigma. Every day, in every possible way, we need to stand up to stigma by talking openly to people about mental health, encouraging friends and family members to get help they need to support their mental wellness, and taking care of your own mental health, just as you do your physical health. Here within the District of Columbia, thanks to our mayor, we are very, very fortunate that mental health support is easily accessible in the district. You can simply call 1-888-7-WE-HELP or 988 to talk to a trained mental health professional 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Since the launch of the district's 988 Lifeline, we have received and provided appropriate support to over 14,000 callers, and we anticipate the calls will continue to increase with mobile texting and American Sign Language features that will come on board in June. Thank you to Mayor Bowser, and thanks, Mayor. We are here today with our agency partners at the Office of Public Safety and Justice, the Metropolitan Police Department, the Department of Human Services, and the Mayor's Office of Community Affairs to open our second Safe Commercial Corridor Hub. These centrally located hubs allow us to engage with our residents and provide care at the right time and the right place, and what better place to meet people in need than directly within their neighborhood. Bringing services to the community, this second installation of the Safe Commercial Corridor Hub is an additional opportunity to access mental health services and supports. With 125 providers located in the district and 35 right here in Ward 8. Our youngest residents can receive services right at school through the School-Based Behavioral Health Program. This program is designed to help children and youth make good choices, regulate their emotions, and learn good coping skills to help them succeed now and later in life. Just like with physical illness, treating mental health early may help to prevent a more serious illness from developing in the future. As always, DC, I encourage you all to mind your mental health. If you need additional support, please know that we are here anytime. You are not alone. Remember, get the support you need when you need it. Help is only a phone call away. You can get support, remember, by just simply dialing 988. Thank you for allowing me to be here, and thank you, Mayor Bowser.
And let me introduce Washington Gas's Vice President of Customer Service, Michelle Musgrove.
Thank you so much, Mayor Bowser. Good morning. I am Michelle Musgrove, the Vice President of Customer Experience at Washington Gas, and I couldn't be more delighted to be here with you to celebrate the grand opening of the district's second Safe Commercial Corridor Hub today. In 1848, the Washington Gas Light Company was chartered to fulfill one purpose: to light our nation's capital. Since then, we've expanded our role to providing the needed energy to this ever-developing region. That expansion presented an opportunity to do more than simply provide the natural gas needed to take a warm shower or cook a hot meal. It presented the opportunity for us to serve in the many communities where we also live, work, and play. Today is an example of just that. I couldn't be more proud to say that we worked with the mayor's office to create a space in our walk-in office across the street for a hub that will connect Ward 8 residents to the plethora of available city services. The word that comes to mind when I think about the partnership is community. Some simply define it as a group of people living in the same place, but it doesn't stop there for us. Community must also embody the relationships we have with those around us. We absolutely love being a part of this community and are committed to serving in it, while we also provide energy to our customers that is affordable, safe, reliable, and aligned with the region's climate goals. So thank you, Mayor Bowser, for the opportunity, and we are proud to be in this community with you.
Thank you. Okay, I think that concludes our remarks. And we want to thank you for coming out, and I'll hold back for press questions in a minute. Thank you, everybody. All right, we'll take a few questions, please. Any questions? Yes, sir.
This question is for yourself, as well as Deputy Mayor Pia and even Chief Smith.
Okay.
To what degree was ANC consulted about this particular corridor? I'm only asking because back in December, 8A and Safety and Justice personnel, they had consulted about nearby Marionberry Avenue and providing services there. So with services coming here, to what degree did the administration consult ANC leadership about how
I
it would
don't
shape
know.
up?
I'll ask the Deputy Mayor to talk about that.
Sure. So we actually had a follow-up with the mayor and all of the commissioners of ANC 8A after that meeting to talk about the various needs. And you see now Ward 8 manager, Wendy Glenn, who also is in regular communication. So we've had ongoing discussions about the various needs of ANC 8A in this area. So you're asking about the follow-up to the December conversation. We have had follow-up discussions that included me and the mayor as well.
How often did that take place, and how are those conversations reflected in this corridor project?
So, I mean, one of the things that ANCAA commissioners did was provide us a lot of documentation. If you remember at that meeting, Sam, one of the things that I asked for was specific requests they had. They provided reports that have been done or other plans, and so that was all part of our considerations of the agencies that would be appropriate for this corridor and for this hub.
Last follow-up question. As far as, so I noticed with Gallery Place, there were people who were dispatched to walk through the corridor. I didn't hear much about that in this case. What's that looking like here?
Yeah, so that what you saw was the first recipients of the pilot of the Safe Commercial Corridors grant, which was for certain neighborhoods. And so in this next fiscal year, the mayor has actually funded an expansion for FY25 of the Safe Commercial Corridors grant. So I was just talking to Christy Noel of the Anacostia bid, letting her know that we're going to be opening the RFA app citywide very soon. And so we hope that we'll be able to expand what you've seen downtown, Chinatown, and a few other places that got those grants citywide.
Yes, sir.
Maybe for the chief or whoever could tell us, can you give us a timeline and location on future hubs that are being planned or in the works?
I don't know if we have a time frame for the next one, Mark. Our expectation is it'll be in and around U Street.
I'm sorry.
In or around U Street. On or around, I guess I should say.
Mayor Bowser, Nick Iannelli with WTOP. You mentioned some figures from the Chinatown hub. Mm-hmm. Could you maybe cite some specific interactions between the hub and the community that you can point to as a success?
I can't specifically talk about a specific instance. That's why I gave you the round numbers of interactions. We can make Talib available, who's there on a daily basis, if we could talk about at a high level individual cases.
Hey, Mayor, can I ask
Hi.
about the poll that published this morning? Your approval rating went below majority for the first time. Public safety was among the issues that residents are really concerned about. They were increasingly critical in some other areas. What was your reaction to that?
Well, honestly, I only saw it in the car, so I don't want to react to it until I can really read it and examine it, and I hope you'll make all of the information available. Has that been made available?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. We'll take a look at it. But this is what I'll say. I've always looked at polls for what they are: a snapshot, a report card of such at any point in time. We always work hard, regardless of what polls say, to deliver for the people of the District of Columbia. That's why we're here today, talking about a service that we know we need. That's why we've made the investments along this corridor over the last 10 years. But that's why we work very hard. This is what I say to my team every day. People will feel better about crime when crime is better. And last year is better than this year. Later this year, we're going to work and continue to work very hard to hope that improves. But us all working together to improve our ecosystem, the government doing its part, the community doing its part, that is what will continue to drive crime down. Anyone who hasn't asked a question? Yes.
Mayor, there are a lot of retail places along MLK Avenue that could use this. Not necessarily now, but I'd like to know how you chose that spot, the Salvation Army building, and what kind of rent you're paying, the city's paying.
I can have somebody get you that information, and we certainly, just like we did on the last location, look for what we thought would be the best location, and I'll have somebody share that with you. That's what that we co-locate with. We co-locate with Washington Gas. I believe they're the leaseholder, and we're going to be a sub part of that. They already have. I was just told about 300 of our residents a month come in there who are seeking help from their staff, who will continue to be there, and now will also be there. In terms of getting customers, I went down a long list of how we have tried to be very intentional about bringing more people to the corridor, including our full-time staff at DC Health, at DHCD, also at the various offices I just mentioned that are in Shannon Place, but the private sector. I saw the young man from Enlightened Inc. a little bit earlier, Antoine Ford, who brought his office from K Street to MLK. So it is important to get a diversity of traffic on the street, including full-time workers. So we're trying to bring more customers. Yes, you haven't asked yet. Mm-hmm.
Hi, Mayor. Lulu, Channel 5. Thank you for taking a few
Sure.
questions. On this hub, what do you see as the biggest benefit for Anacostia? I mean, what do you want to see from this hub?
What we really want to see is connecting more people to behavioral health services. Frequently, people will tell me, well, there aren't any services. There is no help for people who have substance use issues and need help. And I get frustrated sometimes about the services in our government because we have really good ones, the gold standard in some cases. But sometimes we literally have to connect people to them, and that may mean going out and getting them. So we always are trying to bring services closer. We want this to be a place where our police officers know that they can stop and refresh. We want it to be a place where, other agencies know that they can have a meeting right in the community. We want our outreach teams to know that this has all of our attention, and we want them actively on the corridor to get to know people. What people don't frequently know is that a lot of people, especially who need who need to be connected to homes, we know a lot of them. We have agencies and outreach teams that are talking to them all the time. A lot of people see people that are clearly in distress because of substance use issues, clearly, and we have people who can talk to them. But the idea is to gain trust and to help people choose services. And so that would be what would make us all feel really great, that we have a great place for our staff to stop, refresh, is safe, where they can, if they need to have one-on-one meetings, but also we want people to trust that there's going to be somebody there, because they probably won't be ready to get service the first time, maybe not the 10th time, but hopefully they'll accept service. Yes.
And if I could, may I ask one off-topic question?
Sure.
Have you seen the Inspector General's report on
I
job
have.
Do you have any reaction to that?
The Inspector General asked for confidentiality, so I'm respectful of that. Yes, sir.
2 off-topic questions. The first one, under what circumstances would you consider dropping the Public Employee Relations Board complaint against the WTU?
Say that again.
Sure. Under what circumstances would you drop the Public Employee Relations Board complaint against the WTU?
I don't know if I have any specific comment on that. We have to have fair bargaining for all of the unions, and we have a particular. We have to have that issue addressed.
When you say fair, what do you mean?
I mean that one union can't bargain away the dollars that are available to other unions. That's what I mean.
So my other off-topic question in regards to the truancy bills that are before the council right now, there's been some friendly criticism from at-large Councilmember Robert White about your legislation and the designation of DHS as the engagement department.
Yep.
And just as far as why doing DHS when it would be better from his perspective to improve CFSA. What do you say to that?
I think that we're looking forward to the hearing process. We will put all of our issues and arguments on the table at that time. And our legislation reflects what we hear that's happening in practice, including from our schools, court social services, Attorney General's office, courts, and parents. And other adults. And so we have advanced our best thinking around it. We know DHS is our agency that has worked very well with young people, and young people not necessarily on the straight and narrow. And we think engagement from a helping agency, DHS, at the beginning may be better than engagement from an enforcement agency, CFSA. Not that they're not a helping agency, because they are, but their requirements in the law to investigate abuse and neglect sets a different tenor at the start of the engagement. So that's our rationale. Okay.
The Republicans on Capitol Hill in the House had a bill that they are for the Rules Committee today, they can vote later, that would be removed from the council its ability to change sentences and require the Attorney General to put a public daily report on juvenile crimes on a website people can see, a couple other things. I don't know what the success of that will be in the Senate, but are you familiar with this action?
I'm generally aware, and we fight on the Hill on all issues that affect the district. So regardless of how you feel about those things, the place to deal with them is at the council. The topic areas is what I meant. Yeah, yes, sir.
Mayor Bowser, if I could just follow up on the IG report. First, do you think it should be released to the public? If it's redacted, if there's no identifiable information, should that $750,000 taxpayer-funded report be open to the public to see?
Well, Mark, I initiated a report on this matter, and the key findings of the report were released. So I can't speak for the IG's report. The council and the IG are going to have to speak to that. But I also don't feel like I can overrule the expectation of confidentiality that he made among us.
Councilmember Brideau, who has the report, has said publicly that there are lessons that the administration, the government can learn to do things better in the future and prevent things like this from happening again. Do you agree with that? And she also mentions that there are other people, women who had been approached inappropriately by Mr. Falcecchio, who didn't file complaints, that were impacted, her words, impacted by his actions. Your thoughts just on those two?
I can't comment on what she's saying, so you'll have to talk to her about that.
Do you think after reading it, do you think there are lessons for your administration to learn from the report?
I've said throughout that we've learned lessons from this incident, and how sorry I am that any of our employees were harmed. We've taken action in updating our mayor's report, which changes some of the expectations of our employees. So while I don't know if it's the intent or the spirit of the IG's kind of admonition to keep it confidential, to kind of cherry pick things to say, so I won't. And I think the IG and the council should decide how we're going to proceed. Thank you, everybody.